Morning, guys. It's like 6:30. It's still early, raining out, it's dark. But I need to tell you guys about something cool that happened last night, which was a follow-up of a meeting I had yesterday. So I was out doing photography yesterday in the town that I grew up in, and our new friend Diganee and I, her name is Annie, she's from that town, and I thought, while I'm out here, I'll give Annie a call, and I'll see if I can swing by and actually meet her for the channel, and her and I can just have a sit down, no cameras or anything. It's awkward when you meet somebody new and, to immediately jump into, hey, well, I'd like to film something. You need to meet the person and get a feel for them, and they get a feel for you, okay? So that's what we did yesterday. And I want to tell you guys that she's a very down-to-earth person, a real person, and she's not afraid of who she is or what she thinks or believes. She told me that she communicates with Sasquatch people regularly. She sees them, senses them, and they leave gifts for her. So as soon as I walked into her house, she went and started collecting, hey, look at this. They left me a heart-shaped piece of bark, some stones. There was 2 little tiny feathers, hummingbird feathers. And she said, I found these stuck in the ground. And she said, I immediately know when they leave me a gift. I feel it. I know this is for me. And I've never found or seen hummingbird feathers anywhere, guys, ever, not once. So I find that strange. But her and I immediately were on the same plane. We've had a lot of the same experiences, the knowing, the shivering, the sensing of things that are there that you can't see. And I asked her, does this have something to do with your upbringing, parents and grandparents who were native? And she said, no. We didn't get into it, I don't know, but I had that sense that there wasn't a lot of things passed down in terms of tradition. I could be wrong. I hardly know this woman, but that was the sense I got, that she said, nope. I have only started to feel this gift and sense these beings in the last 8 years. She does her own research, and that entails her going out and just being there, talking with them in the forest, and just knowing. So anyway, we had this talk and we covered many things. I was there over an hour and a half, and one of the things we talked about was that she had gone to the woods when she first started sensing this and was getting these vibrations coming through a tree that she was sitting on. And she chalked it up as construction down the road or something like that. She wasn't paying attention. But she went back a second time and she said she felt it again, and then she realized there was more to this. There was someone there with her. And so she started interacting, talking. And from that point on, she had these experiences. And one of them was that a hawk flew up and landed beside her in the tree. She said she could have reached out and touched it, and it just sat there as she talked to it. So that led into the beliefs of shape-shifting and orbs and all of this. And Diganee says, these are the same beings, just in different form. Shapeshifters, she said, but she also believes that they are the orbs. And I'm hoping to get back and sit down with Diganee and get her to tell all of you guys this in her own words. But I'm going somewhere with this because something happened last night. And there's a shiver down the back of my neck. Because I mentioned, my beliefs that over the years I had originally set out thinking, if Bigfoot is real, it's a physical creature only. But because of all of the paranormal things that I capture when we're out in the woods, that my beliefs are starting to change, that there's more to this. And if you pay close enough attention, you see and find things that most people would blow off and say, oh, that's just nothing. It's a coincidence. So she was telling me about the hawk in the tree, and I mentioned to her that we have owls here on the property. I said, I hear owls all of the time, and we see them quite often. That being said, I have not seen an owl here on the property since June. Have not heard one, have not seen one. And she said, that could very well be them, shape-shifting. Do you have an interest in birds? And I said, well, yeah. I said, I'm always out filming and photographing birds. That's what I do. And she said, well, they would know that. They watch you when you're in the forest, and they know you like that. And that led into the conversation of gifting and all of the feathers that I've found this year. I have found 6 feathers. In my entire lifetime up to this date, I have never noticed or found 6 feathers. So, a lot of blue jay feathers this year. If you guys haven't watched all the videos, I think I've found 3 or 4 blue jay feathers, some raven feathers, partridge feathers, 1 barred owl feather. Yeah, maybe more than 6 feathers. Anyway. Which also then led into the conversation of the whistles. The long, straight, monotone, one-note whistle. And ever since Gage was a puppy, I've told you guys, that's how I call him back to the house at night. When I let him out to go pee, and he always runs around the house because he wants to play, and he doesn't come back right away, I give a long, just like that, as loud as I can, and he comes running back. And that has been mimicked over the years in every season, spring, summer, fall. We have recorded that. I don't know what it is. And Diganee says right away, well, you know, they're trying to lure you deeper into the woods. And not in a bad way. She didn't say, you know, it's anything bad. It's just they want to show you something. They want to interact with you. They want to see if they can get you to go to the woods. And that makes sense. I believe that, you know, as times change, as my mindset changes, if something were out there watching me, that could happen. And last night, I'm getting to the point, here it is. I go to bed at 12 o'clock, 12:12. I look up at the clock, it's 12:12. And you guys know that I have dry eye syndrome, so I always have to clean my eyes religiously and lots of drops and things like that. And so I get in bed last night, and because I've been fighting COVID for 8 days now, I've been taking a lot of Sudafed, cold medication, nasal spray, and all that stuff dries you out. So I'm lying in bed going, oh, my eyes just feel like they're gritty, sandy, something in there. I have to get up and put my heat pad on my eyes. So I do that. I get up and I come upstairs. House is dark. I open the microwave door and the whole kitchen lights up. And I put this thing in and I walk around. I microwave it for 30 seconds. I go back to bed. I put it on and I'm laying there and I immediately hear the owl, who I haven't heard. Yeah, see what I did there subconsciously? Who I haven't heard since June. I hear him calling last night. Got interrupted. Kaylee came up to make her lunch for school, so where was I? This is important stuff. It is. I'm actually, the way I'm thinking about this, my mindset is changing. I'm laying in bed, I've got this heat pad on my eyes, and I can hear the owl. But it only started after I went up into the kitchen, and the kitchen got lit up, and I walked around. So I'm hearing the owl, and I'm very tempted to get up and go out and record it, because I haven't heard it in months, and I thought, well, I could set up the recorder. It had been raining earlier. I wasn't sure if it was still raining or not. Anyway, I lay there until 20 after 12. And I tell myself, if I hear the owl one more time, I'm going to get up and go record it. The owl calls again. Okay, I'm getting up. I get up, I go get my parabolic dish in my boxers, back upstairs, through the kitchen in the dark, open the door as quietly as I can. I go out on the deck. It's still not raining, but misting. I can feel, it's like a fog. And the deck is wet, everything's wet, and it's cold. And I proceed to stand there for about 15 minutes with the recorder running on the table beside me. No owl. Not a single call. So that in itself is very strange. You know, I'm listening to this call every 20 seconds when I'm laying in bed. And I get up, I come outside, now it's not calling. Just as I'm about to leave in frustration, it calls one more time. Okay, great. And I've got proof. You know, there's no point in telling a story if you don't have video or audio proof. That's what I always think about this, right? So, okay, I've got a recording of the owl. Go back in the house, I put the parabolic dish away, I climb back in bed. And as I've told you guys before, quite often around here, when I go to bed, I hear loud clicking sounds like something being bounced off my siding. And maybe 3 minutes goes by and I hear, I'm just settling into this, I'm about to fall asleep, the loudest bang on the siding, followed by click, click, click as something hits the ground. And instantly my mind goes back to the conversation I had with Diganee, that they're trying to get my attention and lure me outside. And then instantly I'm covered in goosebumps. I've got that feeling of, oh, I just got lured outside in the middle of the night. I'm standing there in my underwear, pitch black, midnight, and it freaked me out. And then I'm upset that I didn't get the recording of whatever that is hitting the siding. So I'm laying there, I'm kind of disturbed, I'm not really sleeping, I'm thinking about all of this, about small coincidences, things happening, all this is running through my mind, the conversations that I've had with Diganee. And the owl calls again. It starts calling again every 20, 30 seconds. Okay, I'm going to get the recorder and we're going to repeat this process. We're going to do it again. But this time I'm just going to put the recorder outside of my bedroom door, which is right there on the bottom floor. I don't have to go upstairs on the deck. So I do that. I get the recorder. I start running it. No owl. Again, it stops. Again, I say, this is super weird. It's like it's trying to lure me out here again. And then when I come out here, it stops. I'm going to leave the recorder running this time. I'm going back in the house. I do that, I get back in bed, and I think I'm just going to let this thing run until the battery dies on it. And as I'm laying there, things are going through my mind. I'm still not sleeping. I'm looking at the clock. It is now exactly 1 o'clock. I hear the owl again. It starts, and I'm like, okay, there it is. It calls a couple of times. It stops. And then, from the front of my house, not the back, I hear the loudest bang of something hitting the front of the house. From my bedroom at the back of the house, 30 feet away with my bedroom door closed, I hear something hit the front of the house. A loud bang, a click, the usual sounds like something hitting the ground. And I'm like, wow, I don't know if the recorder would capture that or not because it's away at the back of the house. Immediately, within 4 or 5 seconds following that, guys, the same thing happened at the back of the house. Something hit the siding, very loud, one solid bang, and then clink, 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 as something hit the ground. I'm telling you all of this because the recorder was running. Now, I have not analyzed or listened to the parabolic dish. I'm telling you guys in the hopes that this is going to be a fantastic story because it's backed up by analytical evidence, and whatever is on here, I'm hoping we captured the sound of that stone or whatever it is hitting my house and then the ground. That may or may not be the case. Like I say, it was drizzling, it was raining. I don't know how good the recording is on here, but there is a very good chance that that is on there and was picked up by the recorder. So now I'm going to go analyze what was on there, and you guys are going to hear the recordings that I made last night. And I need to say that after talking with Diganee, my own suspicions of paying more attention and being more open-minded are confirmed. There's no way that this is a coincidence after months. July, August, and September. 3 months go by, I haven't heard an owl. I have this conversation with her about the forest people and owls, and then I hear an owl. And then I hear the clicking and banging on my siding. Does Bigfoot watch my house? It seems to know when I go to bed because I'm telling you guys, I could be sitting on the couch reading a book late at night. The house can be quiet. The house can be noisy. I can have the TV on. Either way, I never hear anything tapping or banging on the window or the siding beside me. Only when I shut the lights out, go to bed and get in bed, within a minute or two, I start hearing these noises. As if someone were watching me and tapping on the house or doing whatever. And again, analytical Gary brushes all that off as this is just a coincidence. And this happens all the time, guys. All the time. I'm hoping we have proof on there. Let's go find out. So we can hear the owl. And it's weird, guys. I'm standing 4 feet away from the recorder. The parabolic dish is sitting on the table when this is recorded. And you hear the owl call, and then you hear tap, tap, as if something touches the parabolic dish. And then a few seconds after that, you hear one loud
tap as if something touches the parabolic dish. But I was standing right there, 4 feet away. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. It's weird. You know how a person gets up on stage and goes, tap, tap, is this thing on? And then they proceed to tell their joke, sing their song, whatever. That's what it sounds like. So the tapping actually occurs before the owl goes, right? Tap, tap on the microphone, the owl calls, a few seconds pass, and then one loud tap on the parabolic dish. I can't make sense of that. And the final thing that I'll just leave you guys with is we did actually get the rock, or I'm assuming it's a rock. Sounds like a rock. I don't know. Something being thrown at the side of my house. We did capture that. The weird thing I will say as well, there is something else weird about this. I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm going to. We only have about 8 minutes of recording. And I thought, oh, the parabolic dish died. I didn't check the batteries before I put it out there. This thing will run for like 12 hours. And I thought, oh, okay, the battery died. I haven't replaced it. Can't remember when I replaced it. I went and checked the parabolic dish. The battery's full. So I did just replace this in the last few weeks, I guess. Last time I used it probably. So that has never happened before. We've got 8 minutes and something recorded, and then it shuts off as if somebody pressed stop record. Or actually must have turned it off, otherwise we wouldn't have any battery because I didn't collect it until this morning. So it's like it actually powered off. That has never happened before. Let me know what you guys think in a comment below. Is there more to this sequence of events? I think there is. These aren't just coincidences. You can't talk to somebody about owls in the forest, haven't heard any for 3 months, and suddenly we get owls calling at night and the tapping on the siding, and we recorded it. That's all I can say, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next adventure.